It's a very enlightened society that can smile at the death of a favorite son. We're at the funeral of a very important monk here in Thailand. He passed away several months ago, and an entire village has raised money just to give him their big send-off. Everybody's smiling because he's not dead and finished. He's just passing. Of this, everybody is sure. In the West, people have a set idea of what it means to see a ghost. It scares us. We get conditioned with movies and religious teachings into believing that ghosts are evil things. However, people in Asia feel that if you see a ghost, it is a confirmation of an afterlife. Therefore, you do not die. Death becomes a natural thing, more a transition than an end. So here are some ghost stories, told to you by the people who have actually had the experience. There are no actors here, just people like you. The only difference is that they have spent a long while in Asia, where the culture tends to rub off on you over time.
Ghosts or not? Why not? Why not?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes,
Why?
because I saw my auntie after she was dead.
You see your grandma?
Huh?
You see your grandmother?
Before 6 years like that.
Yeah.
6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you see?
Just like her. And follow me, follow me and let me walk and them full moon that day, yeah, full moon.
Yeah. Where'd she take you?
Take me from my auntie now to my dad's house and what sit here
Okay.
and walk.
And did she talk with you?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
If they have to be careful and not have snake in the all around snake or
In the grass, huh?
ยังไม่ดีเลขอ่ะ
Yeah.
and bite you
Ah, millipede. Yeah.
and he say have be careful come up to the hut
And were you scared?
not scared
Did you know she was dead?
I know but before I'm young I don't know why she come like that
Yeah. And only one time she come, or you see her before?
one time that day after we burn her.
So, do you believe in ghosts?
Well, actually, yeah, I do.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's a little bit weird. I mean, here I am, an engineer and a man of science, and yet I actually have to admit that I've seen ghosts. And not just once, I've seen them on several occasions. Probably the easiest story to talk about is the slap in the face. So I used to stay in this particular hotel where we are now, and one night I was fast asleep in this bed and I was slapped awake. There was nobody else in the room, but somebody distinctly hit me. I had a red mark on my face where I was hit. It was very vivid. And I jumped out of bed and it was freezing cold here. It felt like sub-zero, it really did. And of course, when something like this happens to you, you panic. And I just ran straight into the bathroom, turned on all the lights, and came back out, and the room was perfect temperature again. I don't quite know how to explain that, but I did run into the bathroom the second time, and just having checked all the closets, etc. first, and under the bed, and finding nothing, a bit alarmed, I went and stood in front of the mirror, and I had a very distinct red mark. It was quite a disturbing occurrence.
Ooh, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes, I do.
Why?
because I'm afraid.
About
I
what?
heard,
Oh, you've heard from friends?
yes.
Have you ever seen? But have you ever seen a ghost though?
Never seen, but long times ago when I was young, I feel it.
You felt it.
Yes.
Okay, but you've never seen one.
No.
But your friends have seen one,
Yes.
and their story is convincing enough to make you believe that ghosts are real.
Yes, I do. I do. Really.
Why do you think there's ghosts?
You know, because I think because we Buddhist something, and I don't know. I believe it. That's it.
So Todd,
Yeah.
do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Once.
Whereabouts?
Oh, ladies, long hair.
A lady, yeah?
Yep.
Where, at your house?
No, in the market, night market.
In a night market?
Yep.
What's the story? Tell me.
Seeing and then Jesus disappeared.
Yeah, so what was happening? You're walking through the night market or something and you...
It's like empty night market.
Empty night market, yeah. And a woman appeared,
She's sitting down.
sitting down.
Yep.
Did you talk with her? Did you interact?
No, just pass and then just kind of surprised. How come that kind of late of the night and she's just sitting there?
Yeah. And you looked around?
Look around, nobody there. And then later on I found out, I talked with the neighbor.
Yes.
So once in a while and you will see some lady sitting down alone. That's her.
That's her.
Yep.
So she's a well-known ghost.
Yep.
Where is this place?
Lamphun near the market. Chiang Mai Lamphun.
In Chiang Mai area.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so common that Thai people see ghosts?
No idea.
But you firmly believe that ghosts exist,
Yeah.
right? You've seen one already.
Some people can see, some people cannot see.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. Maybe if the ghost want you to see, you will see. I just say it that way.
So, do you believe in ghosts?
I wouldn't use the term ghost very much, but certainly I've had, I would say, too many encounters and too much evidence of what I would call astral entities or souls that haven't gone through, or however you would describe them. But the term ghosts has a lot of, horror film type associations. I suppose probably the most dramatic encounter I've ever had was, I owned a dog, fantastic dog. I said goodbye to her and went and stayed at my girlfriend's place where she was. It was a very old house, and in a big dormitory actually. She was looking after girls in a dorm. And I was woken up in the middle of the night, and the only way I can describe it is, it was just like, wasn't like, an invisible man lunged at my neck. And that's what woke me up, the sensation of this man lunging at my neck. And the truly interesting part of the story is when I went home, and I'd only seen my dog like the night before, at 5 o'clock the night before, and my dog, I came home the next morning, and my dog tried to greet me enthusiastically, but I could tell there was something wrong with him, that he just couldn't be enthusiastic, that he was in pain, and that he was like guarding the right side of his neck, which is where I was lunged at. And I had to take him up to the vet. I've never took him up to the vet with anything else ever before or since after that. And he had an abscess on the right side of his neck, which he never ever had before. And I told another dog owner this, and she said what I knew in myself. She just said, he took it on. He protected you. And I think many dog owners, I think, will have felt that sensation of like the ghosts, not the ghosts, the dog's astral body sleeping with them on the bed and stuff like that. And because they're so bonded to you, they bond not just physically, but virtually spiritually and astrally as well. And that's my most disturbing encounter with the other side. And since then, I've had to learn and use every night methods for astral protection.
Another time I was here and I was sitting watching the video, and there was some extremely loud noises of furniture scraping across the floor. Like if you move that table over there or the chair. Okay, that's about a quarter of the actual volume of the noise that was happening. And it went on for about 10 minutes. It was really very disturbing. I was trying to watch a video on television. It was a Sunday night. So instead of going over and confronting the noisy neighbour, I rang reception and asked them to deal with the matter. And it became a bit of a problem. 5 minutes later, still there was no action. I was back on the reception, and the night manager, who was a lovely young lady, came on and told me that there was in fact nobody else on this floor but me. And I, of course, thought that perhaps somebody had checked in and they just hadn't registered or whatever. So I went to the offending room, which was next door, and I banged on the door, and then I stopped. And I never thought anything more about it for that night. Went back in, finished my video, went to sleep, got up the next day, went to work, came back in the afternoon, and my entire contents of this room had been moved to another floor. And the reason was that the particular room that was the noise offender the night prior was in fact completely empty. It was in fact draped over and locked up. The story from the maids, etc., was that they didn't clean it, they didn't dare go near it. And similarly, it had a whole bunch of bewildering events that used to happen. In fact, it's making noise now as we speak, is that right? Okay. But there's nobody there.
Kunom, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, since I grew up, since I was young until now, and I never seen one, but I feel that I believe, like, in the house we will have the spirit, but I don't call it ghost because the ghost for me is more scary, it's more make you fear and everything, but spirit will be more like kind of something like protecting you if you do a good thing, or if you, if you pray or whatever, like sometimes like they will protect you, but I can't separate what is ghost and spirit. Just the image of spirit is much better, is much...
So, but do you think that what you're thinking of as a spirit is in fact the essence of a dead person?
Yes. Someone who already dead, but then they're not go for, next life yet.
Okay. Why not? Why do you think they wouldn't go to the next life? Why? What prevents it?
Yeah, we said like sometimes they might have some worry that they cannot go yet. They might
they need to take care of something?
Yes, or like they're not allowed to go somewhere else yet until someone will replace them first.
So I had this time where I came home from work, feeling a little bit tired, a little bit run down. I thought I'll just have a quick nap before I go out for dinner. So I lay down on the bed, and within seconds of laying down on the bed, there was this weight on my back. There was somebody on my back. And I thought, this is a bit too weird for the room. And I looked over my shoulder, and there was a long black fingernail coming over my shoulder. I freaked out. And as I jumped to get up, there was a distinct lifting of a weight on my back, and I turned around, nobody there, nobody in the room.
You see or you not see?
I see 2 times.
Where?
In a temple.
What did you see?
I live in 2nd floor.
Yeah.
And then we sleep all เขาเรียกอะไรผู้ถือศีลน่ะ
Like a dormitory. All sleep together.
No, same monk.
Okay.
But lady take white.
Yep.
But not skinhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Maybe 10.
Like a novice.
10 lady.
Yeah.
Sleep, right? I wake up to go toilet, and I saw some lady have some girl have like a lady bob, lady short hair like this.
Yeah, short hair.
And she walk in a window. I inside. she walk like this and stop and look at like this, look me, right?
Yes.
And then she walk like she walk like this, saw me, then she walk. But tomorrow I just
The next day.
yeah, next day. This isเป็นตึกโล่งๆlike a building.
Yes.
Don't have anything in here.
Yes.
Cannot walk in a second floor, right?
Right.
Yeah, nobody cannot walk like that.
So it was above the ground. So this window was on the second floor,
Yeah.
and you saw somebody walk outside past the window.
Yes, but
So-
don't have anything in here.
There's nothing for her to walk on, just the
Yes,
air.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Only window.
Were you scared?
I don't know about her, but and I don't thinking about goat like that. I just like a girl and just wake up, go toilet, can not wake up ready, not
And you see.
yeah. And one time in high school, I live ไปพักเรียกอะไรเนี่ย I stay with my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, and her so poor, right?
Yes.
Every morning, she have to go take water.
Right, bring water, yep.
Yes. And I go and I live with her, right? I have to help her.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning
Right.
or 5. Half dark, right?
Yes.
And we take some. You can see like this.
Yeah.
Some
Barrow. Something for carry the water. Yeah.
Yeah. We walk, and her mom say, "Hey, you forget something. Forget something for take water."
Right.
Yes. And she walk back, and I say, "Okay, I just walk like just not wake up, ready."
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Okay. And I walk. I saw something sit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not cannot saw them face, right?
Yeah.
Just saw body.
The outline of the body, yeah.
Body like เขาเรียกอะไรเรืองแสงbody have see like a blue ball.
Ah.
What you call?
Okay, so it's sort of like an iridescent effect, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
glowing.
Yeah. Wow. Like this. Wow. Like
So the body itself was actually glowing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I thinking about somebody else bring water same.
Right.
Yeah, same as, but they like a them saw me.
Yeah.
And them like this. Walk away.
Okay, did they actually see you? Did they sort of look at you, or they just got up and walked away?
I don't know. I think them know me or not. I don't know. I don't know that. But that's way them sit, right?
Yeah.
Don't have anything.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
This is the road. I walk on the road, and here he sit here.
Right.
And he walk like this. How can you do? Like a fly.
On the edge of the road.
Like a walk in the air, right?
Okay, yeah, because there's a big ditch beside the road, a drainage ditch,
Yeah.
like a canal.
And have ต้นไผ่เขาเรียกอะไรพี่ bamboo.
Bamboo, yeah.
Yes, have bamboo like this.
Yep.
He sit here.
On top of the bamboo.
He sit here, and he walk.
Okay, I understand.
Walk on street.
Yes.
Like a walk on street.
Wow. And it glowed. So it glowed like light.
Yes, but don't gone like quickly.
How old?
Slowly gone.
Okay. How old were you?
How
How old were you?
ตอนนั้นเหรอ 19
19 years old, okay.
yes
So, okay, when you were a little kid, you saw a ghost in the lounge room.
Not little.
How old were you?
Maybe 15.
15. And what did you see on the day?
A little girl,
Yeah.
maybe about 8, in the lounge room next to the lounge, and she was looking at me. And she had like old,
Like period
peasant
clothes.
clothes.
Period clothes.
Yeah, and she was just staring at me. And
Did she speak?
No, she just stared.
Yeah.
And I freaked out, and I grabbed a knife from the kitchen. I was just holding it, and then it like dived behind the lounge, and the curtains moved, and that was it.
And that was it.
And I never saw it again.
Never saw it again. Good. What colour hair did she have?
Brown.
And can you remember what colour the clothes were?
I'm thinking it was real like peasanty. So browns, greys. It wasn't colourful.
Okay. Was it ragged? Was she ragged?
Not raggy, but old looking.
Right. The girl herself, though, she was 8-year-old.
About that.
Did she have like a rough appearance, or was she?
No, not really.
And did she smile at you? Was she happy?
No, she just stared.
Just stared, as though to say, "What are you doing here?" Or who
No,
are you?
like she was watching me.
Yes, this was an encounter I had where we went round to visit this guy and had lunch with him. Really nice guy. He was an alternative architect. Used to do very eco-friendly homes. And with my then girlfriend, and we were doing quite a bit of exploration of astral and things at the time. And he talked about how his place was haunted, and they used to get attacked in this very old house. It was a former person that lived there and hadn't gone through to the other side, and they, hadn't let go and was attacking these probably what perceived as intruders. Anyway, they got this woman in who said, "Oh, I don't interfere with them too much," but she taught them astral protection techniques. And he said it was funny because you could feel them sort of attacking you, but it was like sliding off their aura and stuff. And this was actually in daytime. We actually were visiting because it was lunch. And this is very unusual for this to happen in daytime. And we actually really didn't go in the house. We only went around in the gardens and stuff. But what happened was we went home and we were exhausted. We were drained, both of us, and we were suddenly grumpy and tired. And we just collapsed and slept for like 2.5 hours. And what had happened was that we had been astrally attacked actually in the daytime in the garden. And they drained us. They actually sucked energy off us, that's the big trading stamp of the universe. Everything needs energy. And so what we did then, we were doing some channeling and counselling of entities that had not gone through. Because especially in car accident stuff, sometimes they don't realise they're dead. It's like, why isn't people talking to me? I'm talking to my family and they never reply to me, because I haven't sort of tweaked to the fact that they're actually dead. Anyway, in this case, we talked it through, so it sort of left and departed, and we shared some details about what our impressions was from talking through this entity. And Neil, the guy whose place it was, said, "Oh yeah, that was the sort of thing that they picked up about it too." So it was one of those. That was pretty unusual because that was like a daytime style encounter.
Anyway, I'll tell you what. Last night, as usual, I sleep with my dogs every night.
Yeah.
In my room in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Anyway, for some unknown reason, during the night, which is probably the early hours of the morning, around about 2-3 o'clock, I can't really recollect looking at the clock and knowing exactly what time it is.
Right.
But my feeling was it was in the early morning. I woke up and I sleep on the side of my bed, and my dogs, one usually sleeps next to me on the pillow, the other one sleeps at the foot where I've got, my bed's actually got a foot rest that comes up.
Yeah.
I woke up, and when I looked down, there it was. What everybody talks about.
What was it?
Now you might laugh about it, but there was a ghost at the end of the day.
Okay.
And it was excuse me, it was a young boy, probably in his late teens to early 20s, a fully knit jumper on with a skivvy top.
A sweater, yeah.
Yeah. But knit, not an nylon one, it was a proper heavy knit jumper, bellowing out around the neck like that.
Okay.
It was a really good woolen jumper,
Yeah.
high-necked.
And this kid was from where? He was a foreigner or was Thai?
No, he was a foreigner. He wasn't Thai. Yeah,
Is that right?
White face. He had a short haircut, not crew cut, but a short haircut, short but a full head of hair, with a central parting through the side and swapped over.
How long did you?
Very clean-looking American type. If you talk about the all-American boy, but not that army-style haircut. You know what I mean? Somebody going to a high school in America or just entering university, that type of look. You know.
How long did you see him for?
I was staring at him for at least 5 minutes.
Wow.
For at least 5 minutes, I actually was basically looking at the corner of my eyes and watching him stroking Churchill.
One of your dogs?
He was actually stroking my dog.
So this kid was in there
So he was actually like bent over.
Yeah.
So you imagine that he's actually bent over the bed at the end and he's stroking the dog like that.
So the dog is on the end of the bed?
Yeah. And he's stroking the dog like that.
And you're laying on the bed?
So I'm over there, laying down, and I'm looking at him. And all of a sudden, he looked at me.
Wow.
Looking at him. So we actually made eye contact.
Eye contact.
And at that point, I actually panicked. I shit myself, you know.
Yeah.
I really panicked, you know. So I kept eye contact for a while, and I thought, I've got to do something. So I sprung out of bed, raced into my ensuite bathroom, turned the light on, looked around, gone.
Gone, yeah.
But the dogs hadn't moved. They were still in the same position, and they were still relatively, even though their eyes had opened because I'd stirred, none of them barked or raised any
So they were
alarm.
calm?
So the dogs were calm, yeah. It was actually a very calm atmosphere.
You don't want to speak English? So คุณเห็นผีใช่ไหม
ใช่ค่ะ
ที่ไหน
ที่ห้อง
In your room?
Yes.
So you saw a ghost and you saw it in your room. And when was this?
ตอนครึ่งหลับครึ่งตื่น
Not that long back. Okay, now, what did you see? In LA?
no see
Uh-huh.
รู้สึก
Uh-huh, you felt like a presence.
รู้สึกมีคนกระโดดข้ามตัว
Stepped over you. Okay, how did you, what happened? You just sort of felt like some presence stepped over you.
กระโดดข้ามตัวแล้วกลัวเมียมฟิล
Yeah. So it made you feel all icy, like cold.
yes
Okay. And what did you see? Either side of you? On the bed?
no see jump
So it jumped across you, yeah. And on the bed you saw marks of
yeah
footprints
yes
marked in the sheet. Okay. Another night, a really interesting event occurred to me. I was back from work and I just watched television and I went to sleep in bed. And the guy my age during the night, okay, you've got to get up and go to the bathroom. So I got out of bed. I was on this side of the bed, close to the window, and as I got out, I walked through complete blackness about here. Completely black. When I say completely black, I couldn't see anything outside of the envelope which surrounded me. I don't know what it was. But then I walked through it and came back out into the light, and it was a full moonlight night, full moonlit night, and as such the room was quite bright, except for this little patch of blackness. It was really very strange. When I walked through it, I realised immediately something was a little bit wrong, because not only was it black, it was quite cold, and I sleep in just a pair of shorts, so I immediately noticed the temperature difference. Anyway, I got out, walked through it, stopped here when I realised something was wrong, turned around and walked back again, and sure enough I walked back into this patch of blackness and stepped back through it again to the edge of the bed, and it was gone. It was really quite strange. In fact, I did this 3 times. I walked through it, stopped, turned around, back through it, stopped, turned around, back through it, stopped. Each time it was gone. You could look back and there was nothing there. Yet there was a distinct sensation that there was no light. It was completely pitch black. And it was quite cold as I stepped through this tiny little place, standing right here. once again, I got up, panicked. In addition to going to the toilet, I went and turned on every light in the place, and for that night slept with all the lights on.
You know, for Thai people, we believe if anyone pass away by accident, you know, like immediately like that,
Yeah.
you don't know that they dead already, you know. So many years ago, my mother's older brother, okay, anyway, my uncle, he passed away. He passed away by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And after 7 days, my mother, she stayed in the house.
Yeah.
And she saw him, you know, like he finished work at 6 o'clock, something. He just walked in the house.
Walk through just like normal.
Like normal.
And what did she say? What did your mother say at the time?
She just.
View of Christianity where I don't have to believe any of the supernatural crap, and I have it in perspective. Unlike many people. The thing about Christianity that is so sad is that there's a real missed opportunity to offer something to a lot of people without all the excess baggage of the theology and the supernatural and the fantastic stories that people get all tripped up over, misinterpret.
So exactly. All right. But what do you think about ghosts per se? I mean, the concept of ghosts in Thailand is really entrenched. And how do you explain that? That people actually believe that they see ghosts?
I don't know, because I have no personal experience.
So Eric, tell me, do you believe in ghosts?
Definitely.
Have you seen one?
Yes, I have actually.
Okay, let's hear all about it.
Okay. Let's see, I had been in Thailand for about 4 years at the time, so it was a while back, over a decade ago. And a very, very close friend of mine who was an actor and singer, a Thai guy, he was in an accident where he was riding his motorcycle and he went down. Okay, a truck went over him, you know, basically flattened him on the street. And I had just been with him the day before. And once I heard about it, of course, I was very shocked that he had died. He had died way too early. And in Thai thinking, and its connection with Buddhism is that if someone is taken, their life is taken too early, prematurely, that there's a tendency for that spirit to somehow be lost. Okay, so anyways, backtracking. That night, after I heard about his death, and I went to sleep, you know, it was kind of a long day, very sad day, just finally went to sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up, I was sleeping very lightly anyways, but I had this sort of strange feeling that there was something else in my room. And so I sort of opened myself up to it and actually saw my friend was walking around in my room, and he was dressed as he usually does, you know, wearing jeans and a t-shirt and showing a couple tattoos. He had a few tattoos on his arm. And I'm like, wow, you know, I thought you had passed away. And he said, I have, but I'm not ready to go. And interestingly enough, at that time, I was spending a lot of time with him, and one of the things we were doing was writing new lyrics to his new album. And he came to me and he said, Eric, my album's not finished yet. I would like you to see it through. And I said, okay, not really thinking. I was still sort of in a little bit of a dream state, but also fully aware that my friend was in the room. And I said, okay, you know, I'll do what I can, you know, and I'll try to see it through. And then he went away. And so the next day was, in Thailand, when you have a funeral, it's typically, you know, a series of days, right? Generally, it's like a 7-day funeral at a Buddhist temple. But in some instances like this, when someone dies prematurely, they may speed it up because they want the spirit to be released as quickly as possible. So that next day, I went to the first day of the funeral, and I told my other Thai friends about it, and they're all, wow, you know, you saw Robert, you know, the day that he was killed or.
Hindi Hokjai.
ไม่ตกใจ
So
แต่
when
ว่า
you see a ghost, you're not scared. Why?
no we shock we don't have
Shocked but not scared. Yeah, Hokjai, I understand.
And what did you actually see? What caused you to look?
I don't know. I was sitting in the lounge room and I looked up and I saw him.
Okay, and where was he standing?
In the doorway in Kelly's room.
And did he acknowledge you or not?
No, he just like looked and then looked away and then he was gone.
Okay, but it was quite distinct.
Yeah, it was him.
Okay, how was he dressed?
Can't remember. Like the shirt you're wearing now.
Okay, did he look okay? I mean, was he happy, smiling, sad? Was he earnest? Was he...
Didn't really see an expression in the face because it scared the shit out of me.
So, Nim, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Why? Have you seen one?
No, never.
And why do you believe in ghosts?
Maybe because I am a Buddhist, and Buddhists always believe in spirits and ghosts.
Okay, so what do you think happens to a person after they die?
They have, I think, two ways. One, if you just like Buddha, if you see the real thing, you will not reborn again. But if you are still, you know, like this, you still have karma or something that you have to come back to pay.
Yes.
You will have to born again. and
Reborn.
again.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and in terms of ghosts, why do you think people see ghosts? What's the rationale? What's the reasoning?
I think, like we said, the people that still not due to die, there will be a ghost and still, you know, go around. And if you have a sense that can tune to that ghost, you may see the ghost or something like that.
So what you're saying is that if a person dies suddenly or at an improper time, they don't actually know that they're dead, and so they appear as ghosts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I believe like that.
So why do you think there's ghosts in this room? Yeah. A lot of people watching this are going to think that this is a whole lot of crock, you know, something you've made up, you know, too many beers at night, you know.
Well, yeah, that'd be okay, an easy way to explain it away if it was only me that had actually seen it. But I've been in the presence of others when, in fact, I heard the noises here on the Sunday night. I actually had people with me, and we don't drink, so it was quite simple. The night of the slap in the face, I had the red mark on my face, which lasted all the way through till the next morning. And then, okay, the night when I walked through the darkness, it was only me that was here. But I mean, my word, my experience. I think the greater question is, why do we see phenomena like this? I'm an engineer with 30 years experience, and I can tell you that it's not easy for me to be anything other than sceptical. But I think sometimes mathematics just can't describe some of the things that happen, quite simply. And you ask any Thai, or in fact Chinese, or Vietnamese, Burmese, or any Asian, do they believe in ghosts? They get a very firm answer, yes. Why, don't you? It's an accepted phenomenon.
Talking about skeptics. I mean, basically, I suppose what happens to a lot of people is they watch TV and they watch programs where the skeptics get on there and explain things away. Like, basically, what you saw was that, this is how we can explain it. It was a light source that come through, it was a flickering this and a flickering that, or your eyes didn't really focus properly, and there's all sorts of things that can go wrong, you know? But the problem is there's too many people that have experiences to actually be able to explain every single one.
Good.
I mean, basically, if you've got 1,000 people that come up with similar stories, maybe a certain amount of them you can explain away, but you can't explain the whole 1,000 of them.
Once again, the question's asked, do you believe in ghosts?
I don't, but I remain open to new evidence.
What do you think happens to us after we die?
Well, I mean, there's so much evidence now. If you read books like Life After Life, the Moody book, classics like that, there's really a lot of evidence now that people can leave their bodies. So that people who have died on the table can actually just, recount conversations, not only that happened in the room they were in, where their body was, but in other rooms. And blind people who have died have accurately described what people were wearing, who've died on the table and stuff and come back. So the general theory drawn from many religions and stuff is that, our astral body, our entity, what goes on after we die, leaves the bodies connected by a cord, and when we finally die, that cord is cut, as it were. We're no longer connected to the body. But then there is this astral realm that we are in there. We need to go through what's generally described as the light or the tunnel to actually go through to the other side, and then go through the process of assessing that life and going on to another life. So that the astral entity is one that's, where people haven't, for whatever reason, haven't gone through. And when you talk about these things, you can attract attention. We've just sent something in this room. But the other thing too is that obviously there are not all entities in the astral are negative, but there are certainly some confused and lost souls, literally out there, that don't perhaps realise that they're dead. They die so suddenly. They don't know why they've gone through. They have some very strong connection with people that are still here. For instance, they're dead children who still hang around their parents, or parents who still are highly attached to their children and still take a very strong interest in connection. They all eventually need to let go, of course, and go through into that to that other thing and get on with their journey as a soul.
At the beginning of this film, I asked you whether you believed in ghosts, and you were pretty emphatic. You said no.
Yeah. I am one of the biggest skeptics, Mike, of believing in ghosts that you'll ever meet.
Okay. I want to ask you now, sometimes past, what is it now, like 3-4 months?
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I had an experience recently that tends to make me feel that there are ghosts there, yeah.
Elaborate.
Well, let's start at the beginning. I went to visit my mum in Spain. She's recently moved from England to Spain, in a small town just outside of Seville. And she's got the quaint old Spanish villa. And I've taken my girlfriend with me, Pookie, and we're in the house. And my mum's very religious. There's crucifixes on the walls and on the doors. And some of them were there from the previous owner. We're sitting in the living room. There's me and Pookie and the dog, the fire going. The Spanish villas, even though the weather outside can be nice, inside the house, it must be the design, they're very, very cold. It could be that, or it could be another reason why it's very cold in there, which I tend to believe in now that it could be, because there was something in the house. Basically, we were sitting in the living room, okay, sitting on the sofa, enjoying a pleasant afternoon in the house, and we could hear what sounded like very small stones being thrown at the front door. From where we're sitting in the living room, there's a hallway. There's a doorway that opens into a hallway. To the left of the hallway is the exit to go outside. To the right of the hallway is the doorway into the kitchen. And there's a doorway at the end of the hallway that goes into where the bedrooms now are. Okay? The light shines in from the kitchen doorway, because there's a window in the kitchen obviously, right across the hallway. Okay? So we've heard this sound. I didn't really pay any attention to it. It's only when Pookie turned around to me and said, "Mike, can you hear that sound at the door?" It sounded like 1 or 2 small stones, and then you wait 10 seconds. There's 3 or 4 small stones, and that was just somebody took a whole bunch of stones and threw it at the window, at the door, big wooden door. Yeah. So I've got up, I ran to the doorway, I've opened the door, looked on the floor. There's nothing there. Okay. My mum's garden is massive and it surrounds the whole villa, and there's a 10-15 foot wall that surrounds the whole villa, so nobody can get in there. Yeah. There's nothing on the floor, and I'm thinking, what the hell could have caused that sound? And it makes you start thinking. I started, close the door, come back in. As I've walked back into the living room, the telephone's gone. I've turned around, I've gone to reach the telephone. As I've gone to reach the telephone, something has caught my eye from the right and walked straight past me, and I jumped out of my skin. Okay, the hairs on my arms stood up, and it really. I'm 6'5".
The hairs on my arms are standing up now.
I'm 6'5". I'm a normal guy. You know, nothing scares me. I'm fearless. And there's me sitting there right there, and I didn't know what to do. Okay, it really did make me jump because I knew there was nobody in the house except me, Pookie, and a small dog. Okay, Pookie and a small dog are still sitting on the sofa in the living room. As I've picked the phone up, there's nobody on the phone. The phone is ringing. Hello, there's nobody there. I put it down. The hairs on my arms are standing up, Mike. It really did make me jump. It really did. The night before, we'd had the conversation with my mum and Rob, and we'd all been talking about ghosts. And I'm the normal cocky. There's no such thing as ghosts. My mum's telling me, be quiet. She's very religious. She believes in all that. And this really did make me think twice. As a logical thinking guy, I was thinking, what could have caused that? First of all, the big shadow on the floor that went past me, and the feeling that there was someone there. What could have caused it? So I ran out onto the balcony. I grabbed hold of Pookie because I wanted some company to go there. That's how big I was. I actually did feel a little bit scared there for some reason. Yeah. We went out onto the balcony and walked all the way around the house because there's like a landing that goes on around outside of the house. Yeah. And I wanted to see if anybody was out there or something crossed past the window, because that is the only reason a shadow can be cast on the floor is if something crosses the light. Nothing crossed the light there. There was nothing there.
Wow.
We've come back into the kitchen, walked up and down to see if that would cause a shadow on the floor. Nothing. We tried every experiment we could in that next 30 minutes to see if there was anything that could have caused what I saw and felt. Nothing. We went back in the living room, sat down, and my brain started going, what? I started noticing all this. I didn't even see the crucifixes before. It's only when this had happened, I started to see them on the walls. Yeah, and they're like this size, big wooden, old Spanish-style crucifixes. And when my mum and her husband came home, I mentioned to her what happened, and she said, "Whereabouts exactly did you see it?" She said, "Was it in the hallway by the door?" I said, "Yeah." "And was there a sound of what sounded like small stones at the door?" I said, "Yeah." And they just clicked. How the hell does she know what I was talking about? And she turned around and I asked her, and she said, I've seen it, Rob's seen it, and we believe it's somebody from the house from before." And from that day, I didn't want to stay in the house on my own. I really didn't want to stay in the house on my own. It was an experience, and the hairs are going wild now thinking about it.
You see, ghosts can only be seen if they want you to see them.
มันเสียวมันแสบแปลบที่ใจ เมื่อรู้ว่าคนรักใครแอบไปมีคู่ใหม่ไว้กบฉันจะแช่งชักคนที่ฉันรักให้มันช้ำอกแก้ลำคนใจวนเวียนวอกหลอกฉันจนอกเจ็บจนเหลือคมคนไหนไม่ซื่อต่อคำคารมจะกลืนข้าวนมข้าวต้มให้มีคมครูดคอเลือดหยดน้ำดื่มเพียงนิดให้มีพิษฤทธิ์แรงดังกรดแช่งจากฉันไม่มีวันลดสำหรับคนคดกบฏหั